Oh man, I'm so glad David Benavidez did this video, man, and I got some audio I want to share with y'all on what David Benavidez had to say about the potential matchup between Tank Davis and Terrence Bud Crawford. Oh, I'm glad he said it because now I know I am not alone. I have not been getting a lot of great feedback about that being a potential fight or a fight that people feel is realistic. But let's hear what David Benavidez got to say about that. But first, let me say this. Ain't nobody rocking with David Benavidez at 168. I got to continue to echo that statement, right? At 168, David Benavidez is my guy. Now, I know we heard the rumblings about him fighting Demetrius Andrade next. Andrade is basically saying he's ready to sign a contract, or he wants David Benavidez to sign a contract. I'm almost positive that fight happens next. And with some of the early success Caleb Plant was able to have against Benavidez, a lot of people feel like Demetrius Andrade will have that success and more, and potentially beats David Benavidez. Now, I don't believe that's the case. I think he finna get punished too. Let's talk about it. What up, YouTube? Big T, Heavy Bad Boxing TV, man. Get your goof ass in here. Hit the bag, hit that like button for your boy. That helps the channel. You know, I appreciate that love. Shout out my gang, my bag hitters. Man, each and every one of y'all know the count. Now, I wanted to play this audio for you guys about what David Benavidez had to say about Tank Davis and Terrence Crawford, that potential fight.
The best unified 147 partner, because he was definitely on a different level that night.
Who do you want to see him face next?
To be honest, bro, I thought it was crazy back then when people were talking about it, but now that I look at it, I think Crawford and Gervonta Davis would be a good fight, man. Knowing that Gervonta Davis fought at 140 already, I think if he just goes up one more weight class, I think besides me and Canelo, I think the next biggest fight in boxing is Tank and Crawford, and it'd be more likely to happen even before too. So,
hey, that's how I feel. Now, a lot of people kept calling me crazy. I was saying, listen, man, it's nothing unrealistic about that fight. Now, I know Terrence Crawford would be the heavy favorite, but if he's chasing a bag, it makes all the sense in the world. And that's why he's been so inclined to kind of poke the bear, to antagonize, and to kind of instigate a fight with Tank Davis, right? And like I said before, he's already said he'd be willing to go. Terrence Crawford would be willing to go up 3 weight classes to fight the winner of Jermell Charlo and Canelo Alvarez to try and achieve 3 times undisputed. So it's not far-fetched to say Tank wouldn't, pack on 12 pounds or move to 147 to fight Terrence Crawford. You know what I mean? That's just not far-fetched. Now, I get it. You feel like Tank loses and he probably loses bad. Maybe that's the case. Would I pick Bud Crawford to win that fight? Yes, I would. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to go ahead and keep it all the way funky with y'all. I pick Crawford to win that fight. All I'm saying is it's not unrealistic. It's a very possible thing. Now, of course, Tank Davis don't want no smoke. He ain't even commented on the situation. I believe in the back of his mind, he just kind of wants this whole Terrence Bud Crawford talk to go away. That way he can't, put his foot in his mouth any further, because of course we've all heard the audio that circled the boxing world for the past several days now, talking about Tank talking about potentially knocking Bud out in 6 rounds. And I think when you look at Bud's last performance versus Earl Spence Jr., that's probably almost laughable for most of us. But very, very, very realistic. And if Tank really wanted to chase some greatness, that would be the way to do it. Now, I know for Tank Davis, more than likely, Devin Haney, Shakur Stevenson, those are the main targets. In his return, more than likely, he probably won't be fighting them. PBC, Al Hammond, Floyd Mayweather, they've done a great job of providing him, I believe, quality opponents, but not the best that the division has had to offer. That's been the knock on Tank Davis. We've yet to see him get in the ring with somebody else whom we all believe to be elite fighters at 135, or fighters who we all feel is just as big or is just as strong as Tank Davis, that are elite, right? Because even when you think about Rolly Romero, big, strong guy, not elite. You think about Ryan Garcia, big, strong guy, but not considered elite, right? But I believe really, really quality opponents, but just not the cream of the crop. So when you try and take, credit away from Gervonta Tank Davis, I get it. I understand what you're saying, but you have to give him a lot of credit for what he has accomplished in the sport and the quality opponents that he's faced, because a lot of these guys are undefeated, right? A lot of these guys you were riding high. Matter of fact, a lot of y'all had the Ryan Garcia Tank Davis fight a 50-50 fight, and I was trying to tell you, you niggas was crazy. But I completely agree with David Benavidez, and as far as David Benavidez go, that's my guy at 168. I get excited when you talk about David Benavidez at 68. You know what I mean? I don't think nobody see him. I don't care. And he's already big for the division, so I don't. I know Bud a bad motherfucker, but man, I don't know if he would ever, really contemplate seeing David Benavidez at 168, depending on how this thing plays out. And it sucks for Benavidez because he probably won't get the Canelo fight or a shot at all of the titles at 60. The way things are moving now, when you really look at it, I don't see how David Benavidez becomes undisputed, or ever really gets that shot. Because let's just say Canelo beats Jermell Charlo, right? And hypothetically speaking, even though that's what I believe happens, I know a lot of y'all believe Jermell could beat Canelo, and maybe that does happen. But I believe Canelo wins, right? I don't believe Jermell Charlo is going to do enough to take the undisputed title from Canelo at 68. So if Canelo wins, then what's next for Canelo Alvarez? That's the question. We've heard that he'll be able to fight Jermall after he fight Jermell. I'm not sure how much sense that's going to make at the time. Jermall still he don't look like he in no way, shape, form, or fashion ready for the likes of a Canelo Alvarez. He's definitely got to get a fight under his belt. That's not even on the books yet. Then you have an Andre, but if Andre is fighting, more than likely fighting David Benavidez, then that's off the table. Well, like what we doing there? You understand what I'm saying? Because really, to be honest, man, it should be Benavidez and Canelo at 68. You got Morrell out there. He ain't getting no title shot no time soon. The world could be put on pause and shocked, because it could very well be Canelo and Bud Crawford, depending on what Spence does. I've seen some rumblings about Spence getting his license back and trying to go ahead and get in position to do this rematch and run it back. Maybe that's the case. I hope it ain't the case. But man, shit. But anyway, man, Tank Davis, Bud, I'm all over the place with this one, man. Hopefully y'all bear with me. Tank Davis, Bud Crawford, very realistic. I think depending on how the chips falls for Tank and Bud, if Tank's not going to fight Devin, Aesop Pitbull Cruz, or Shakur Stevenson, then why not? I think it's going to be a lot of criticism depending on who his next fight is going to be. And he's got to eventually get tired of that. You guys let me know what you think in the comment section, man. Big T.O. Heavy Bag. I got my guy with me, man. He always rocking out with me, man. You know what I mean? He got something he want to tell y'all. Talk to him, Roger.
Most motherfuckers don't know shit about boxing.